Hello, my name is Leroy Blevins. Welcome to Mysteries and Histories. In this episode here, what I want to do is I want to talk a little bit more about the JFK assassination files that they just released. Okay, because the reason why I want to make a video about this because a lot of questions came to mind because a lot of people have been sending me either on Facebook or emails and stuff like that. Well, check out this site here, check out that site here about this person, this researcher saying this is what's in the files and what's in the documents and everything else like that. You know, I've got a copy of all the documents they just released, and I got copies of all the documents that's already been released over the years. And what I find really intrigues me and brings up 1,001 questions is, by the way, they handle this stuff. And when you look at the documents and you read it, and then when they read it, they're just going to point out one or two phrases in it and say, here's my evidence. This is the person behind this person behind it. Just like recently when they released the files and stuff, they said that JFK was assassinated by Lyndon B. Johnson because the KGB did their own investigations and they find that Lyndon B. Johnson was behind the assassination and stuff like that. So, and they're going to tell people, well, this gives us new insight on it and everything else. And to me, okay, these are the questions that come to my mind when I hear something like this or when I think about this. Okay, when they say Lyndon B. Johnson was behind the assassination of JFK, and when they claim that Bush was behind the assassination of JFK. Now, as a bystander, now, not a researcher, but a bystander, I get confused when they claim this because I think of this, okay? If Lyndon B. Johnson was behind the assassination of JFK, okay, wouldn't you think that when he served as president of the United States and during that time of the assassination, wouldn't you think that he would have all the documents that pinpoints anything to him? If there's a cover-up now, wouldn't you think that Lyndon B. Johnson would have took all them documents that says that he was the assassin when he had all them destroyed to begin with? Because remember, he was the president of the United States. Okay, all of a sudden now these documents show up and say, well, KGB did their investigations and they placed Lyndon B. Johnson as the assassin. But I find it funny that these documents couldn't have been around during the term of Lyndon B. Johnson because the pure simple fact of it is, like I said, if he was behind the assassination, he would have made sure that all these kind of documents that pinpoints anything to him wouldn't have been destroyed. Two, just like the Bushes. They claim the Bushes was behind the assassination of JFK as well because of this or because of that. Again, more questions come up. Now, let's see. Bush Sr., okay, was vice president for 8 years. So he was in the White House basically because he was vice president for 8 years when Ronald Reagan served his terms. Then after Ronald Reagan served his terms, then Bush Sr. became president himself for 4 years, one term before 4 years. So that places uh, Bush Sr. around being able to get a hold of these documents within 12 years now. 12 years he could have had time to go through these documents or have somebody go through these documents and get rid of any evidence that points it to him. Then we got to look at this now. Now, after Bush served his term and stuff, okay, which he's good friends with uh, the Clintons, as also Bush Jr. is good friends with the Clintons, that gives him more time there. Say, hey, I'll help you, you help me. Is there anything in the documents and stuff? So now we have 2 terms of Clintons in the office, Bill Clinton. So now we have 12 years with Bush being in the office and around it. We have 8 years of Clinton being there, so that makes it 20 years. Now we have Bush Jr. goes in there, becomes president, serves 2 terms, which is 8 years. Now we have the total of 28 years that they could have went through these documents, they could have went through these files and everything else and got rid of any evidence in the JFK assassination that points it to the Bush family. So see, these are questions that comes to my mind, but also now these documents come up and they show Now the Bush is behind it, or Lyndon B. Johnson was behind it, or one thing or another. Okay, that's why I never use any of my research or base a lot of my research on anything that's written, because a document can be, they can write a new document today, stamp it as an old document, and type it on old typewriter today, stamp it as an old document, okay, take a signature from somebody from back then, paste it over top of this document, scan it, make a copy of it, make it look like it's an old document, place it in the files, and there you go. That's real easy to alter and everything else. They want to talk about altering images and stuff, but they never talk about, could this document be altered or that document be altered? They won't do that, because if they do that, then that ruins their case. So this is the reason why I say I cannot base a lot of my research on any the documents or reports that's written, even the ones they just released. A lot of people still want to believe in that. Okay, they want to believe in that, just like KGB. Okay, they're going to sit there and say, yeah, maybe Johnson did it. You know what I'm saying? Are they actually going to say, hey, we did it? No, they're not. They're going to pinpoint and trying to show it to somebody else to get distraction away from them. Same as we see in the JFK assassination. They want to say this and say that, just like they said Oswald was a patsy. Okay, there's stories coming out now where they say Officer Tippit was the assassin. Okay, these are more false claims coming out. That's what I'm saying. More false claims coming out. But now let's look at reality now. Okay, let's throw away them documents, let's throw away them files, because I want to tell you something that really also gets me thinking as well. Is when we read the documents and we read the files, okay, and the reports and stuff like that, they always still talk about the 3 shots. No other shots, basically just 3 shots. They're saying JFK was shot in the back of the head and thrown at the same time. That shows, an assassin, 2 different locations, okay? But they're not showing reality. They're not showing the facts. And then when I look at the films and images, and remember, I wasn't born during that time. I was born in 1967. But when I look at the films and images, their stories they tell does not fit on anything we see. There is some stories told by eyewitnesses that fits the account that we see on films and images, but the other stories that's reported and stuff, it doesn't fit. That's why I said, just like the documents, it doesn't fit anything when they say Lyndon B. Johnson is behind it, or um, the Bush is behind it, okay? So we can't rely on any of that kind of information. A lot of people out there prefer to rely on that kind of information, which is understandable. That's their own opinion. But one thing I never did find out when I went over the documents and stuff like that, no one's never talked about any other shots. Just the 3 shots is all they're going to say. But when we look at the evidence, which I show you here, I show in my research and in my book and in my evidence, and even in Evidence of Conspiracy, my book. That's why I call it Evidence of Conspiracy, because all the lies and all the false stories is going around JFK assassination. It's not only the government maybe covering up, but it's also the researchers and other people that's trying to cover up what really happened that day. No one's talked about in any documents, any reports or anything, or any the investigations either from KGB or our government, CIA, FBI, and all this. No one's never talked about shot to lamppost, to the sign on lamppost. No one's never talked about that. We could see that shot taking place in the Zapruder film. Okay, no one's ever talked about that. Now let's look at the overall main evidence here, which I'm going to point now. In the Zapruder film, as I'll show you here, it shows us a bullet right here striking the side of the concrete of the manhole cover, piece of concrete flying upward. That's in this location here because this is that manhole cover. That's in frame 399. Frame 401 now shows a bullet striking the top corner of this manhole cover, the concrete of the manhole cover. We see a strike here, a piece of concrete flying up here, and then in frame 402 of the Zapruder film, we see the bullet ricocheting upward. Okay, now we're going to sit there and look at this. As you see here, we see all these images and everything else of Secret Service agents and police officers and stuff looking at this manhole cover. Let's zoom in. We're going to show you that they're looking at this manhole cover. Right here is that manhole cover, right here. Over here, as you see, that manhole cover, what's he doing? He's looking right down here at the corner where a shot was fired, where a shot made contact here and a shot made contact here. And this guy's looking right at it. And the police officer was standing right on that manhole cover that was shot in the JFK assassination. Then we see a Secret Service agent right here bending down, picking up a bullet that's lying in the grass. We can see that bullet lying in the grass. We see his hands coming down to it. And he's right here, and that manhole cover's right here where this police officer is standing. But none of this is in any of the documents or in any of the reports from the JFK assassination saying that a shot struck that manhole cover. Not one word about any of this. In in any of the documents, in any of the reports, and in any of the Warren Commission report. Now, this is not even mentioned, but we see it with our own eyes. We see the images. Okay, we see it. And today we can go down, and they also an image taken that same night of the assassination showing that manhole cover that was hit by the two shots. Okay, and we go there today, and what do we see? We can see, we can touch, we can feel, we can pry the bullet hole that's right here and the bullet hole that's right here. So you see what I'm talking about when they come out with their stories about the documents and the files and everything else like that, and they're going to push this on you as the public. They're going to push this on you, said you have to believe me because this is what it says in the document, but none of them says anything about these shots here. In my research, I'm the only researcher in the world now. We're going to talk in the world on Earth today that will show you this kind of evidence, that will point this evidence out, and plus look at it and show you and tell you about these shots, where these shots came from and stuff, because this is what the films and images tell us. So they're going to keep on telling you that story, that the film's been altered, images been altered, to throw you away from that, because they're hiding the truth when the truth is right in front of you. It's been in front of everybody for the past 54 years. Okay? That's why I never believe in what is written in a document. That's why I don't believe in what's written in reports. There's eyewitnesses. Now, on top of these two shots that we can see in the Zapruder film and other images of people around this manhole cover and picking and retrieving bullets and stuff, but also there was a bullet casing found, which I think the people still has it, the bullet casing found on the rooftop of the county records building, where both of these shots line up to. Okay, both of these shots line up to the top of the rooftop of the county records building, and in that location, a bullet casing was found in 1974 by a worker on top of the roof of the county records building. The Zapruder film also shows us a gunman on the rooftop of the county records building. Okay, and then we have eyewitnesses claiming that shots were hit here, and the police officers told them there was shots that hit there. The Secret Service agent said there was shots that was hit there, and it was retrieving bullets there and everything else. But no one's talking about this. No one points this out. No one's not even saying anything. There's nothing in the documents. There's nothing in reports or anything else saying about these two shots. But there's a lot of evidence to prove that these two shots took place, and both of these bullet holes still can be seen today. So you see what I'm saying is, I know my videos, okay, my videos don't get thousands and millions of views overnight or thousands and millions of likes and stuff like other people's videos do, okay, because they're all actually all into it for the fame and glory, okay, fame and glory ain't it. That's not what I'm in research for the fame and glory and tons of money, because I spend all my own money in doing my research, okay. I present the evidence, okay, I present facts. Okay, a lot of people might not agree with me, but like I said, what people knows, that's what they see in front of them on the news or newspapers or these TV programs or documentaries or films, or even some of these so-called, well, I'm reporting the great news, I'm reporting the truth, you know, on the radio programs or one thing or another. Okay, they all see my research. Now think about who's really doing the cover-up. They all see my research. All of them do agree with me. You wouldn't know that, but I know that because they contacted me. Excuse me. They agree with my research to a point, okay? Because I say Oswald was one of the assassins, and then Oswald took 2 shots a day, they don't want to talk about that. They say, well, I know you're wrong about that. Okay. Now I'm not, no, sit there and say, well, you're dead on about the gunman on rooftop of the county records building. You're dead on the gunman on the grass knoll right behind shelter in shelter number 3. You're dead on that because, hey, there's no, you can't argue with that because you have the evidence. You showing photographic evidence of these gunmen in the locations taking the shot stuff. But I think there was a gunman in the Deltex building. I think Oswald is a patsy. I think the shots came from the overpass of Elm Street there, which I'm going to make a video about that and show you that no shots could come from the overpass or nothing else, which I'm going to show you in another video I'm going to make after this. But since we cannot come to agreement on them, they don't want to tell you about me. This is a fact. Like I said, I've talked to all the top JFK researchers. They ask me, can I fit the research into mine? I tell them no. You don't have to believe me, okay? You don't have to believe me. But do I have the evidence? Yes, I do, because I have the emails. Okay. Now, I don't have nothing copied on recordings, okay, because I don't do none of that stuff, because that's kind of stupid. I don't have no recordings of them talking on the phone, but I do have their email addresses, and I do have emails from them, which I told them I made a promise, and I'll always keep my promise. I wouldn't show nobody, but I did not promise them I couldn't tell nobody. And I'm not going to tell you their names because I don't want people to come back to me and says, oh, well, no, he didn't say this. And then I have to go through this big old battle and show them, yes, he did say this. Yes, they did say that because here's the email that I got and here's the date on that email and everything else. It's like John Green, when I talked to John Green when it came to Patterson and giving Bigfoot film. I had to show people John Green's email stating that, hey, your suit matches the same as seeing the film and stuff like that, you know. But like I said, I'm not into it for the fame or the glory. I'm into it and I present my videos and stuff because I want people to know the truth. Yes, I would like my videos to go viral, you know. Reason why, so people know the truth. I'm not saying, hey, buy my books. I mean, I would like people to buy my books. I would like people to make a donation on my GoFundMe account so we get a proper document made. I mean, a documentary, we need a proper documentary. We need all this stuff on film. We need all this into one documentary so it'd be cataloged and it'd be filed and everything else before it's too late, which is, to me, at this point, I think it is too late because the pure simple fact of it is, no matter what anybody says, no matter what anybody does, okay, they're not going to listen to you because if you could prove them wrong, they're going to not, you know, talk about you or anything else. That's why if you go over all the radio programs and TV programs and everything else, you're not going to see me there. You're not going to hear me on a radio program. I mean, I've been on radio programs, but you're not going to hear any other researcher talk about me because I tell the facts. I point the facts out. I tell the truth. There was 5 gunmen there that day. There was 13 shots fired that day, but no one wants to talk about none of these. Just like the manhole cover. Nobody wants to talk about that manhole cover. When right there is the evidence. Evidence has always been in front of people. They just never took the time to piece it all together because they're always worried about looking for a new story to sell in a book and a new story to sell because the more stories they keep on, that's why they're famous today. That's why a lot of researchers are famous today because they keep on coming up with new stories, new stories, new stories. But when you go back over their old stories, it's like, wait a minute, you changed your mind during this. What made you change your mind? What made you say this differently now? Because before you said it was this and you was guaranteed, but that means you're proving yourself wrong. No one wants to point this kind of stuff out. When you don't, and just like researchers don't ask the proper questions, okay, or think about this or think about that. Just like I said, I could sit here and talk about the documents all day long and point out 1,001 facts that they claim that's in these documents. But then we had to sit back and think, was this person behind? Because he could have had time to destroy this, especially Lyndon B. Johnson. He could have destroyed anything that had his name marked on it at that time when he was having the investigation done. Okay, so when was these documents added in there? They put on different dates. Okay, so we can't really say that these documents are 100% guaranteed because that's 54 years. Anybody could have done it at any point in time. Stick a different date on it. Put somebody's signature on it. You know, it's easy to do that with a copier and a scanner and a fax machine or anything else like that. So I just want to make this video here to sit there and tell you If you want to believe in the documents and the files and everything else, that's fine, Danny, that's your opinion. But remember this, don't base a lot of the truth into these files and documents that they, in these reports that they put out, because you're going to find the same old answers that we've been hearing for the past 54 years. You know, Lyndon B. Johnson behind it. The Bush has been behind it. Oswald's a patsy. Only 3 shots fired. Frontal shot fired. Basically, that's it. Okay, or Officer Tippit shot JFK, or Mrs. Kennedy shot JFK. Okay, that's all we're going to hear. Okay, because that's all people want to believe, and that's what all people's really pushing, is that they're not pushing no new ideals, they're not pushing no new research, they're not even pushing none of this, which we can see, touch, and everything else every day, you know. So I just want to make this video here and give out a little bit more information. I want to thank you. Don't forget the like button. Don't forget the subscribe button. Tell your friends about us in the description down below. If you want to, you can buy one of my books. I'm not going to push it or force it on you like all these other researchers do. You can buy one of my books, and for the month of November, December, all my book royalties is going into the GoFundMe account so I can get this documentary done. If I can't get help nowhere else, I'm going to try to do it on my own. So I want to thank you and have a pleasant day.